Welcome to the monthly show where we read comments, go over polls, announce giveaways, and apologize for both our minor and major infractions. Roll that intro. Welcome to Corner Case. You're in the hobby corner. You're watching Corner Case Town Hall number 3. I'm your host, your man on the soapbox, and your best friend, Deck. We have got a ton of stuff to get into today, but first and foremost, of course, thank you to everybody who's been riding along with the channel, especially those of you cornerstones who are watching close to the release date of this video. The growth of the channel has been very steady, and for what we are trying to accomplish here, that's really, really appreciated. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Next, we did a big video this month, so thank you for everybody who came out to support how to start Malifaux. Slow Jam shout out especially to those of you who are also making content for Malifaux. I cannot stress enough how important it is to get the word out for these games that we like. These games that we like so far currently are probably never going to be the biggest views, though they are getting there. So anyone making content for Malifaux is literally just a labor of love. So that video we dropped, how to start Malifaux, has a big list of all the creators. I've been updating it on the regular. So if you are interested in starting, you've got your full support network there. Go check it out. If you haven't, show some love to all the other Malifaux creators. I'm not going to try and name them again in this video because I missed way too many last time. So link in the description, just check out that other video. There's a big list of creators there. Moving forward, we will be doing more How to Malifaux for y'all. We'll have a whole playlist. Coming up first next is what is Malifaux and is it for me? Because I realized I did how to start Malifaux, but I didn't tell you like what or why. So we'll be doing that next. And then after that, we'll be doing gameplay. How-to gameplay type videos will be more of like an actual play kind of format. So expect some other characters or people on the channel. Look forward to that. Next is polls. Probably the most substantial poll this month was, will people still play physical, miniature, and board games after society has made the leap into the metaverse? So a little bit of a triggering question. I think I just wanted to discuss like the tactics and the nature and the usefulness of tabletop simulator and other virtual gaming environments. But what I got in the comment section was, I think, way different than what I was expecting, and more importantly, way more significant. Let's get into some of the responses. There were many. I'm just highlighting a few. If you want to read the whole thread, just go ahead and check that out in the community tab. And if I missed your comment, but you thought your comment was good, let me know. You know, no hard feelings. Snarky McSnarkface says, I don't know about the rest of you, but TTS reinvigorated my love of in-person gaming with physical models. TTS just made me miss gaming with those friends. I was lucky I live with 3 other gamers, so I still had in-person games every day throughout the lockdowns. Turning the computer off and heading downstairs and pulling an army off the shelf, setting up the terrain and then trash talking my roommate, the tactile feedback of picking up a model alone was so meaningful. Not having perfect camera angles and terrain layers that could just be shut off for convenience, knocking a model with a tape measure, all these little things just make the game so much more memorable and meaningful. TTS made me appreciate a change in opponent even more. An army testing tool pre-purchase, it is amazing, as a tournament prep tool and as a teaching device for how to get a better sense of maps and line of sight, TTS is one of the best tools to improve gaming and gaming skills. It does not replace a physical model or the in-person gaming experience. I will keep using TTS. It is nice gaming with friends across the pond, but I would rather see them in person so I can compliment their trash paint job, dumpsterless, and dice so frosty it could give a snowman freezer burn. I really wasn't expecting, the sentimental type of responses. And I don't know why I wasn't expecting that, but overwhelmingly, I think these were the most powerful responses from the community. Let's read another. Dumorn says, saying society will make the leap into the metaverse is like all those dudes online 10 years ago telling everyone all gaming will be in VR soon. I don't see it happening within our lifetime. Or perhaps a better comparison would be like saying, will people still want romantic and physical relationships after the ease of online adult interaction being filmed? If the past 2.5 years have shown anything positive for me, it's been how required in-person physical interaction is for my mental health and for me to actually feel connected to other people. Playing tabletop games on a tabletop physically located close to other human beings resonates on an instinctual level. We simply do not have the technology required to simulate this enough to actually convince our brains it's happening. And thus, even if adoption is huge into anything like the metaverse, people will always stay hungry for actual connection and closeness. Big feelings here from Dumorn and Snarky, and I just want to really acknowledge that. I'm really, really moved and humbled by the types of sharing we're doing within our audience here, within our small gaming community. Thank you so much, guys, for reminding us about what's important. I know you guys aren't the only ones. Other people said similar stuff. So shout out to all of you guys. What matters is people, and sometimes it's easy to forget that. So thank you guys for contributing that to the discussion. Next, we'll go into some other comments, and then afterwards, we'll get into some giveaways and some updates on product. I think you guys will be pretty excited to see some of that. Roasting my hat became a trend this month. Hillbilly Illuminati says, I'm really digging the hipster garden gnome look you're rocking. I just love that. And La Petomane says, your hat sucks.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So those were the hat roasts for this month. If you guys want to keep it going, I think it would be fun to see how creative we can get roasting this hat. Your hat sucks is just, there's a little bit of hatred in it, you know? Like, even if it's meant as a joke, like, you could feel the weight of like pent up emotion behind it. And one other comment, there were many, many comments this month as per usual, but I'm just picking out only a few, okay? And this video I feel is already getting pretty long for what it's supposed to be. So a quick comment from friend of the channel, Coyote, on the video about 3D printing at your LGS. Coyote says, I live in a place where other games are well represented. It is troublesome of stores to decide what to carry. The stores that do well tend to have people, often staff, who get excited about a game, build a community night because they're there anyway, and that means they're building a demand and can predict somewhat sales. So Coyote was kind of talking about, you know, in response to what happens if your game store moves to like mostly 3D printed, just reminding me of like the current way that things work. So my takeaway here again was, I think the power that the LGS owners and employees have over building your local community around games is not to be overlooked, not to be underestimated, not to be taken for granted. And this comment from Coyote, whether he intended it or not, made me realize that my video for how exciting it was to talk about the different business models, different store environments that you can have from implementing this 3D printing technology in a different way, all of that didn't take into account people. What role will people still play in organizing the community? And I think I realized that is the important part. We can talk about how we participate in the consumerism of miniature games, but at the end of the day, while that consumerism is a big draw, it's not as big of a draw as people. I think, you know, we talk about building a community on this channel all the time, and I'll admit that I'm a little embarrassed that everything I shared with you guys, the last 3 comments I shared, were more genuine towards thinking about building a community than my last couple pieces of content were. So thank you guys for setting us right. I think we're all in this gaming hobby for the same reasons. We are fast approaching, fast approaching 1,000 subs. I think we thought we'd get there by now, but we're totally grateful. We're getting there. It's been a rough month, but we're getting there. So we will be starting giveaways soon. So as previously advertised, the first giveaway will be those Infinity Order tokens. I will do a community post probably next week or the week. I don't know. I don't know how long it takes anymore to get subs. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But we'll be posting the community post soon with instructions on how to get it. We will be mostly doing product every month in terms of giveaways. I do want to give away some models if there are games that we can kind of give away blisters. So like Infinity would be pretty eligible since they do like a lot of like blister packs. But I kind of really like the tool building because my whole thing is trying to make like games easier to get into. So we'll be giving away order tokens, I think almost every month, because I think it would be cool for like somebody to want to collect a bunch of them. And we're going to make them fun because they'll have dates on them. So they'll have like the month. So it'll be like Infinity order token, like corner case, July 2022. So I think that will make it pretty collectible and fun, just as like a fun giveaway. For people on Patreon, they will be also named. Our Patreon subscribers are not so much that I can't just like custom make for most of you guys. So more news on how we'll be managing the Patreon on that side, but at least on the strict YouTube giveaways, this first month will be order tokens and we'll be putting the month and year on there. In subsequent months, we will be giving away other gaming tools or tokens, real fun stuff. Patreon subscribers and Squeaky Wheels will get a bigger voice in what we make in the future. Personally, I want to make like one of those infinity control panels that have all your like order tokens on it and command tokens, and I think those are pretty fun. Paul Burrow asked for a range gauge. I asked Paul what game he plays, and he hasn't gotten back to me. Paul, if you are watching, I will make whichever range gauge you want, and I will put your name on it and make that accessible as an STL for everybody, so everybody knows that Paul is the reason they have this sick range gauge. And lastly, we have been working on this. Now, what is this? This is a dice tray. Let me show you. I have been developing a 3D printed dice tray. I mean, obviously eventually to sell on like an Etsy, but I was thinking like at least locally within our community here, I could probably just provide the STL to anyone on Patreon or do giveaways of this product as well. Now, what makes this special? First, obviously it looks like a D20. And again, I just want to make this like as accessible as possible. But what makes this fun is the physical properties of PLA make it like a natural speaker, and then a 3D print itself is like semi-hollow. And then putting this thing on a ground plane, and then there's like a specific shape to it. All this to say that this design is basically made to be a speaker. So I have been noodling on this design for the last couple months to just tune the timbre of the dice clunk as it hits the floor of this tray. I'm very sensitive to sounds, in some case sound averse. I wanted to design this for 3D printing because I like the different material qualities you can get, and I didn't want to like be gluing like EVA foams or like leathers to it to like dampen the noise. So I've been like actually playing with like the design of the interior structure and the thickness of the floor of this dice tray to like tune the thunk sound that the dice make. So look out for more of this. Soon we'll be making this accessible to y'all as well. So that has been Town Hall for June of 2022. Thank you to all you cornerstones who have been a part of the growth of the channel. We are building such a great community around tabletop gaming. Join the Discord, join the Patreon if you would like to. Thank you so much always. Please like and subscribe. We're always desperate. See you guys next time.
Venerate the Emperor by subscribing now. Only in death does subscribing end.